You know what that means? It's the good movie alert. Oh my god, we finally got another one.
Feels like forever.
Or at least a good Disney Channel original movie. Because, welcome back to a whole new pod, the podcast all about Disney Channel original movies. I am your host and decider of whether any of these movies are good or not, Lucas Melby.
And I am Jacob Telejohn.
And...
social media manager, Dustin.
Fair introduction. Yes. Mr. Twitter himself, calling his shots again of saying, I want to be on Minutemen?
And we didn't know why you picked this movie.
I didn't know either, but the poster looked cool.
Yeah, and the movie...
definitely look up the poster. It's one that caught my eye for years now at this point of... because, you know, you type in Disney Channel original movies or whatever, there's some random Google results that pop up, and ones that you'd expect, Halloween Town, Xenon, whatever. But then you get, like, Minutemen, you might get Ring of Endless Light, and be like, what the fuck is Ryan Merriman doing on the cover of this movie? Yeah, I don't know. Twitches 2, not a good episode. Not in a good headspace during that episode.
Not a good movie. Not a good episode. Establish that.
Sure. Yes, it was a great episode. Better than the Johnny Capahal episode. Let's actually, let's get down to that. Dustin, what was your take on that episode?
It seemed pretty chaotic, I think. I don't know. I think Sam's kind of overbearing
Sam
sometimes.
Didn't even drink for that episode.
Oh, no.
I don't know if we said that.
Steps out of bounds sometimes, but
yeah,
that's just kind of who he is, too. So
he's full of surprises. We never know which Sam we're going to get.
Sam.
Are we going to get cool Sam? Cool guy Sam? Or are we going to get IMDb Sam? Let's say movie names and stuff that's related to those movies, which you'll be getting some of that from me this episode.
Yes. A lot of homages in this film.
But similar to when we did Twitches 2, Friday night right now, struggling with new glasses. I was struggling with new glasses last week. These prescriptions not working out for me. No energy drink this time. Energy bars, though.
You should have.
Jacob's got the energy.
I'm
Jacob
bringing it
had
tonight.
A whole full sugar Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pecky.
He is locked and fucking ready. He's about to just randomly punch Dustin in the face. So let's just get into it. Minutemen.
Why is this the best movie we've seen in like a year?
Well, Minutemen, I was going to say more like Minutemen. That's what they called Jacob Telejohn in bed. Minutemen. That's like how much Dustin's going to talk on this podcast.
These are good.
Yeah, keep going.
Minutemen, more like I only want to watch a second of this movie. Nah, that's not true.
We need some self-deprecation,
Yeah,
Lucas. Self-deprecation. Do it for yourself. On this
Minutemen, more about how much anybody's going to listen to this episode.
Total.
Minutemen, though. Fun movie.
Yeah, a good movie.
Not a perfect movie. Surprise! I don't want to overhype this too much.
I don't know.
There's a lot I like about this movie.
Yes.
But even the stuff that doesn't work out super well, I can see what they were going for, and I kind of like what they were going for. They just don't always reach what they could have achieved. So remake this one, Disney Channel.
Are you more drawn to this, Lucas, because it's a high school movie?
Yeah, where Jacob is drawn to magic movies, I'm drawn to high school movies. Yeah. With magic or science in them, sure. But let's get into it. Opening shot, we get real nice money shot establishing this school. I think it's like Somerton or something.
Yeah.
Most important thing, though, is there's a Bighorn Ram statue.
You see that many a times throughout the film. It's a great focal piece.
I believe this school, seems to be a lot of Disney Channel original movies, is in Utah. Utah they got that's where the High School Musical.
I thought it was California.
I'm just going off of IMDb trivia. So
later on in the movie, I saw a California license plate.
Well, so maybe the school is in Utah, but other parts were filmed in California.
Okay.
But the High School Musical high school is in Utah.
Good catch.
So I assume this statue is real, but they also use it a lot in the movie, so it could be a prop. I don't know. We're introduced to our main character, Virgil. He's coming off the school bus. Virgil, played by Jason Doley, who's in other Disney. He was in Read It and Weep, And I don't know why I didn't pick up on it in that movie, but he's also one of the main characters in Cory in the House, which I should have remembered because I have watched the majority of the Cory in the House episodes.
That's right.
But he's kind of like, he's like the cool friend, but he's kind of goofy in that, and he's kind of like that in this, I guess. But he has a friend, at least at this point. It's the first day of their freshman year of school, and he's there with his friend Derek, who is played by Steve McQueen's grandson.
Wow.
Who I guess is also
Steve
in the
McQueen.
Vampire Diaries. And they meet up with the love interest, Stephanie. Don't remember her name. I think she might be in Wizards of Waverly Place. But what I know her from is the villain of the Bratz movie from 2007. Speaking about high school movies.
Right.
The Bratz movie, it's not a good movie, but it's a good bad movie. There's a lot to enjoy about the Bratz movie.
You have seen it.
A podcast I listened to, a bad movie podcast. They did a commentary track of it. That was very funny.
Gotcha.
Start of this movie, I rightfully picked up on. I'm like, I feel like they're going to do a flash forward, or not a flash forward, just a jump in time, because all of these characters, they're supposed to be freshmen, but like the girls got pigtails.
Yeah, that was
Virgil's got braces, and I'm like, the actor doesn't have braces, so it all felt like they were playing down to an age that they definitely weren't, and we'll shortly get a 3-year time jump. So I turned to Dustin and said, I was right! This is the only time travel that happens in this movie, is the 3 years later title card. I was kind of confused because they go to football practice.
Well, there's like a bunch of stuff going on. There's football practice. It also looks like there's like a track practice going on. Cheerleading going on. Yeah, there's like a bunch of different after school activities.
Virgil's just there.
Yeah, what is he? He doesn't.
He's just there. I don't know if
he's probably watching what's her name practice.
He was, but he was with like a group of people, and I don't know what they were doing. But we get introduction to not the best character in the movie, but the best named character in this movie, Charlie Tuttle. Tell us about Charlie, Dustin.
Charlie Tuttle. I don't know. He's probably younger than he.
He might actually be the age he's supposed to be playing.
He could be, yeah. But
he's the shortest character in the movie, probably.
Yeah, like a little Spitfire type dude.
Yeah,
comes blazing onto the football field
on a rocket boosted.
I don't know. It's like a gator, or I don't know.
Golf cart with all the top, pretty much, wasn't it?
It's something. But yeah, there's something sciencey because it's got a big jet in the back, and I think Derek, who was practicing quarterback, was not doing well with landing passes to his teammates. Just sinks a shot to knock Charlie off of this vehicle.
But only after Charlie's like ran through people. He's caused a lot of mayhem. He's
killed a man.
You would think he killed a man with the reaction that comes from the football players, where they just all swarm onto him, and
then they start like having like a mosh pit with him after he's getting knocked off of his cart. Like they're throwing him around. They're beating him.
Charlie is
Virgil, yeah.
Charlie is Virgil's neighbor, and I think Virgil somehow stands up to Charlie at this point, and then they start to attack Charlie too.
Yeah, it was very strange.
And they both wind up hanging from
the ram.
They've been made up to look like girls.
Yeah.
And, oh, what a fateful day.
We don't see how they get down or how they got up there, because they're, unexplainable.
And then, I already said it, fast forward 3 years into the future.
Yeah, and they're still hanging up there.
Charlie Tuttle and Virgil show up to school. They're now BFFs.
Yeah, besties.
Seems that there's been quite a change for how Virgil's high school life has gone, because we see Derek and Stephanie. Ooh, they're like boyfriend and girlfriend. And Derek's a cool jock football player.
Yeah.
And where's Virgil sitting at lunch?
With the nerds.
He's sitting at Jacob and Dustin's table.
Smashing apples.
I feel like we've talked about your guys' table before.
We definitely have talked about the one-hit wonder.
Yeah, we talked about one-hit wonder. I don't know if we established
the milk carton debacle.
Yeah, we did that.
Been talked about.
I think I mentioned how, like, Jacob, in my opinion, and I wasn't the coolest person, but I always viewed Jacob as pretty low on the totem pole in high school.
And he still does.
And that Telejohn was still bullying like kids at his table. There was a kid that they would pay to eat gross concoctions, which I think was maybe a common thing. It seems to be something that comes up in movies. But what would you guys do? Like, classic condiment mixing.
Yep, and then chocolate milk and some applesauce, some ketchup,
just make everything.
Peanut butter.
All the extra food and stuff. You would just throw it on.
I mean, we could go into you guys being like proto-catfishers to one of the guys at your table.
That was good.
That's
true.
As I said, late on Friday night, we'll save that for another day. But this is kind of the table that Virgil's at. He's there with Charlie.
The cool kids, yes.
And was it Clarence or no, Chester, who is essentially Steve Urkel. He's a black kid with glasses.
I was going to say 100% that was who he was.
And then there's another character, but we'll hold that character's name for a little bit longer. Virgil's looking over and seeing Stephanie kind of macking on Derek, but he gets an opportunity to go talk to her when she heads over to the cold drinks vending machine. And it's kind of a cute little conversation. He's awkward, but, they're childhood friends or something.
Yeah, well, he's giving her shit, and he's like, what did he say about the Coke? I can't remember what the...
He's like, you could shine a penny by using
you put a penny
soda
in there, and it'll make it shine. It's
like, even worse than Napoleon Dynamite saying, do you drink 1% because you think you're fat?
And then she's like, well,
I'm drinking whole if you want.
She's like, I actually think I'm going to drink this. He's like, oh.
But so it's supposed to be, I don't know, that he's so sciencey, but he can't relate to the pretty girl.
Yeah.
I failed to mention the introduction. This
is also when we established they're like friends, though, still.
Yeah, childhood friends.
Yes, because throughout the movie,
trope.
they talk about different little stories from their childhood and what have you.
But I forgot to mention the introduction of the best character in the movie. As they're coming into school, they happen upon cool kid Zeke,
that's right, Zeke
rolling up on his motorcycle wearing leather, but he's still wearing a helmet for safety and probably for legal reasons.
Assless chaps.
And Zeke is played by Nicholas Braun.
Is that a familiar person?
Who I know from, he plays Cousin Greg in Succession, which you guys don't watch, but it's an amazing show. It's very popular. In Succession, he plays a very kind of dopey or just like very like socially awkward character.
The same character.
Does Zeke come off as dopey and socially awkward? No, he's a badass on a motorcycle. He's supposed to be the cool guy.
I think he's socially awkward.
I don't know. He gets a couple girls without even trying.
That is true.
I compare him to like Michael Cera in Arrested Development, but within Succession. And I could go for my whole character analysis, comparisons of characters from Arrested Development to Succession, but that's I'll do a Twitter.
He's like a John Bender.
A John Bender?
The Breakfast Club.
Yeah, he's the cool guy in that movie. Who's cooler than him in that movie? He's the one who talks shit to Molly Ringwald. And
Andrew's pretty cool, but he's an asshole. But John Bender's an asshole, though, too.
Yeah, I mean, he gets with Molly Ringwald because he's so cool.
That's true.
Anyways, so we've got all our main characters established, including Chester, who is surprisingly influential for the plot of this movie.
He's in the movie a lot. He might be the fourth most popular character.
No, that's that.
That's the little sister.
The Asian
Brenda Song typecast character.
Jeanette, who
should have been Brenda Song.
She, I think, shows up at lunch here too. She's a weird girl who has a fascination, almost within the anime sphere, would be referred to as a yandere, where she is so obsessed with the character to the point of like possessiveness and potential violence to that person.
Because she calls him, her thing throughout the whole movie is she calls what was it?
Charlie
Tuttle, like different bird names.
Yeah, and it's never established.
Chickadee.
Kookaburra.
Yeah.
But it's never established why she even likes Charlie at all, because he's
cute.
Largely unlikable.
I don't know. She's just weird.
There wasn't any girls like that for me in high school. That's what I'm saying. But I also wasn't.
They were too intimidated by you, Lucas.
Yeah, you're too intimidated.
That's what I always told myself.
Yeah.
So we've got our main cast set. The day goes on. There's a funny sequence, or I thought it was funny. Virgil in class and Charlie Tuttle. We always have to refer to him as Charlie Tuttle. Yeah. He's the Chaz Anthony of this movie.
Yeah.
He shows up and pulls Virgil out of class. The teacher allows it because it's for an AV club emergency.
Correct.
He gets brought to like the computer lab where Charlie has enlisted all of the nerds to just type away at computers.
Yeah.
And then he's like, hey, look, I've created a viable simulation of practical time travel.
Like these people like pray to him. He's like their god.
Yeah, they call him Commander Tuttle.
Yeah, Commander Tuttle.
And I thought, and we do kind of figure out how he's done this, but I love that just like first 15 minutes of this movie, they don't give a fuck. It's not, he accidentally discovers time travel. He just figures out time travel, and he's a 14-year-old kid. And I'm like, this is a fun direction for DCOMs to go in, of just like, I know that there's a lot of like future crazy science kind of movies, like Make a Better Boyfriend or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So this was dumb, but it was fun. And yeah, he's got some simulation about how to make time travel work, and Virgil's like, no, that's crazy. Let's not do that. But he eventually, I don't know, gets won over for it. But they need to find a good engineer.
Yes. Mm-hmm. This is where they...
Who do they find, Dustin?
They recruit Zeke because he knows motorcycles, he knows how to weld.
Yeah, he's in the shop class all the time.
Yep.
Then they bring him to, I think,
their house.
Virgil's house.
Yeah.
That's where we meet Virgil's little sister, who... She's younger than Charlie Tuttle, but she sounds like a normal teenager, and it's very off-putting.
She always has different weird little outfits on, I think, throughout the whole movie.
And in this, she's in like 3 scenes. And in this scene, this is where it's more hit on that, like, well, for me, it's difficult to read Nicholas Braun as Zeke as like a scary guy because of what else I've seen him in. He also plays a minor role in Sky High, which is another Disney connection for him. But this is where he's, threatening to beat up Charlie and whatever. We also learn about, which this is weird because this is Virgil's house, but then Charlie's cat, Albert Feinstein,
he's everywhere.
Is at that house.
He's everywhere though they go.
True.
We do establish this.
But somehow they persuade him. I don't really know how. And we got the crew all together. Yes. So they start to work stuff out.
They have like blueprints all laid out. I don't know if that's what they stole.
And Zeke says like, I think this will actually work. We just need a lot of power, and we need a secret spot to do this.
Yes.
It was kind of a funny scene, but I didn't really pick up on the significance. But I think they go to the vice principal to ask for access to like the school's basement, which is underneath the football field.
Yeah.
Which is funny because our high school had an underground track below our football field, and it had like legendary status of being like, there's an underground track, but it's shut down because of asbestos, and people wouldn't like believe it. And...
The only time I went, didn't we go down there for CPR or something?
I went down there once. I was in a photography class, and we were supposed to take pictures in a class, and Ron took us down there. He took us like underneath the pool area. All these different like.
You got mesothelial. Yeah, we had some rooms that we would go down there for. We didn't practice wrestling, but we went to like the wrestling room for maybe CPR or something.
Yeah, the CPR.
But yeah, it was. I think I wrote like a parody news story about the underground track.
Somebody did.
Or maybe it was a different guy. I don't remember what I said in it, though, so it must not have been that funny.
I remember that article, though.
But yeah, as I said, legendary status, but this scene with the vice principal, we didn't look up what he was from, but he's like a dweeby, bald guy, but he's kind of let his power go to his head. He's like, well, I might have been a nerd in high school, but now I'm all about maintaining the status quo. And this is all happening as he's trying to use the vending machine, and who is inside this vending machine? Chester, the nerd.
Somehow, yeah.
And they're like, aren't you going to get Chester out? And he says, hey, it's not my place. Natural selection.
My dollar doesn't work either.
Somebody's got to be put in vending machines. And yes, do you guys have change for $1? And that's how they get access, I think, to the underground basement, is that they give him 4 quarters because of the $1, which seemed perfectly flat and without any issues. Not able to go into the vending machine.
This vice principal, he's also familiar from, he also plays like the principal in the Phil of the Future series, so that's where I recognize him from. But I guess he's also a voice actor in like The Emperor's New School, Croc's New Groove, and some other Disney stuff. So
what's his name?
J.P. Manoy, Manous.
This is all. I'm cutting this all.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's familiar.
I dare you.
He's familiar.
So then they get access to the track, and then they have a whole montage of getting stuff ready. I believe this is set to an Ally and AJ song that's got a kind of good beat to it.
He's actually the voice of Cusco. I didn't know that.
That's not in that show, but in actual The Emperor's New Groove, that's David Spade.
Okay. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing.
I'm just telling you that I'm pretty sure it's David Spade. Look that up, actually.
It says Cusco, J.P. Minot, Patrick Warburton as Kronk, and John Goodman as Pacha.
No, John Goodman came back.
Yeah.
Look up the original.
I think you are right.
I just want to know.
Lucas likes to be told he's right.
No, I think.
Well, I would check, but I got like a show to run.
No, it is David Spade.
Okay.
But
now this is all staying in. Then just have a functional time travel machine, but they're all too scared to use it. And they power it up. It's this amalgamation of like motorcycle parts, and there's like a slide projector.
Like there's like a lot of shit because
computers and batteries, and like handlebars, and
we see. Like you said, you see that big montage of them stealing all the electric things they can. They're stealing the microwave with the food in it, and that was a fun scene.
It was the best.
It was a fun scene. The guy goes to get his coffee, and they steal the microwave, and he loses his bagel, and he's very confused, and he's.
But they're all too scared. They power up the machine. It's just Jacob loved the twister effect.
I loved that. I thought it was one of the better effects we've seen in a DCOM.
First movie 2008, by the way. So maybe Barack Obama became president, and DCOMs got really good special effects.
Things are heating up.
But yeah, the effect was cool, and
it was,
but they were all too scared to go into it. So they. Yes. Albert Feinstein, the cat, is for some reason in the school's basement.
And Zeke sees it, right? Zeke just like throws him in.
Yeah.
And then the cat comes out on the other side.
No, important note, the cat has a watch, some sort of watch on its collar or leash or whatever.
Which
they throw the cat in with the leash still on it, and then it gets spat back out, covered with snow.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually...
They notice that the clock is 1 minute behind.
I don't think that makes any sense.
See, I think they can go back. See, my original thought was they can go back a day and a minute.
That clock is just wound on its own. It's not attached to like the fucking some grid or timeline. So really, I don't think the clock should have actually gone back in time.
But that's where the title got its name from.
Well, they haven't dubbed themselves the Minutemen yet.
No, not yet.
But I think that's why, because it was the 1 minute the cat went back in.
So they've had successful time travel with the cat.
At this point, they're the snowsuit guys.
Well, no, they're nothing at this point. Only the cat has gone through.
They just have snow attire on.
Yes.
But cut to some research center nearby where they, I think, are detecting like seismography or something.
A very large man.
Yes, there's a very...
This
is the most unfortunate character in the movie. Is this huge fat guy who complains about snacks all the time and turns out to just be a total dumbass.
But he has a cohort, too.
He has a what?
A cohort?
Oh, I thought you said he has a cold heart. I'm like, I don't think he was mean. But yes, he's kind of downplaying this alarm that's going off, but he has another researcher with him who's like, no, this is some serious stuff. So we're already getting, maybe there's some greater butterfly effects going on with this. Virgil talks to Stephanie in the library. We are kind of picking up on that Derek is a bad boyfriend.
He's really bad.
Talking about getting tutored by another girl. But
he might be the worst like evil boyfriend.
Well, there's not often very many evil boyfriends.
No, that's what I'm saying. He might be the worst that we've seen in a DCOM.
Maybe.
But it's kind of like this underlying kind of thing. They don't they just kind of give you little hints at it. And this guy's kind of like bad.
I don't think it's like super subtle or anything. In the conversation Stephanie has with Virgil, she says, hey, let Derek slide. He was really sorry about what happened 3 years ago. He didn't want all the football players to pile on you. Remember that.
Or did he?
So then they decide, okay, now since the cat didn't die, we're all okay to go back in time. But since the cat had snow on it, I don't know. Did we say that the cat had snow on it?
Yes, the cat was covered in snow.
I was checking something on my computer. There might have been some glitch in the system, so there might be like 5 seconds of podcast that got cut out. I don't know. We'll see.
I guess at least I was curious why the cat was covered in snow, and so
Largely not actually clear why.
No, it's very strange.
The last time they go through time at the very end of the movie, we see snow in like the
portal
time tunnel sort of thing.
I think the only reason they did this is because they had some cool white snowsuits they wanted to use, and this is the only way they could explain to use them.
But they just have normal winter attire right now. They hop through, and their immediate plan is to go enter the lottery. They go to the winning numbers from the next day.
Yes.
They go there, but they aren't old enough to buy a ticket. So what do?
They got to resort to Mr. Roboto outside, who's painted. Like when I was out in California, I remember seeing a guy in like gold and a guy in silver. And
it's a pretty well-established thing. He's just a living statue.
Correct.
But for whatever reason, they call him Robot Man. Yeah. And whenever he moves, there's some disembodied
cool noise. Yeah, love that.
Stuff going on. And they say, hey, Mr. Robot, you gotta buy this ticket. And he's like, you gonna pay me? He doesn't say that, though. He like motions.
He's like, tips. I want tips.
So then, I don't know why they have to leave.
Yeah, because he was taking too long. They had stuff to do.
They did say something. They said, "Oh, we'll be back later to get."
They're probably like afraid that their time was like running out. Maybe.
Okay. And, it's not clear, but they have to leave, and they say, "We'll meet you tomorrow." So before they thought, "Oh, maybe the cat only went 1 minute back in time," but actually, it's a day and a minute back in time. So they're the day previous, and now they're like, "Hey, we'll come back tomorrow to get the money or get the ticket from you or whatever." But yeah, I don't know why they had to leave so suddenly because they aren't doing any rescue stuff at this point. So they come back. We see that the researchers have gotten another blip on their system. Then they go to the supermarket or whatever, and everybody's there celebrating that Robot Man has won the lottery.
And the guy never gives them their money. No. He doesn't even give them a portion.
And he still is Robot Man the rest of the movie. It's like, dude, I don't think you need to do this anymore.
Because we do see him in at least another scene later on.
Yep.
So then, possibly the most pivotal scene in the movie. Chester, a.k.a. Steve Urkel, done with a shower in gym class. He goes to his locker.
And the bullies have stolen his clothes. And for whatever reason, he thinks it's a good idea to leave the locker room with
how else is he what is he going to do?
Around his waist, and then some dude snatches it right off him, and he's nude. He's just naked. After we see a sign,
and the kid who runs up to him to take the towel off, like doesn't even. He has got just like a blank stare. I didn't even think he was gonna do it. He just seemed like he was running in the background, and then he just did it. And he seems to be bullied by like some skater dudes or some
like
burnout.
The principal
and they look like 30 years
old. The vice
old.
principal says something to him.
He basically was like, "Hey, that's how it goes, you know.
That's just how the bullshit goes.
You're a nerd. You get depantsed or detoweled or whatever."
Yeah.
And this will set in to, of course, bad stuff to happen.
So yes, this is the start of them wanting to use their powers for good because. Originally, they were going to go back and try to get the numbers again to try to win the lottery again. They're like, no, we can't do that. That'd be cheating. They say, oh, that'd be cheating. We can't do that.
Well, I don't know why they think that's cheating, but they were literally, I'm pretty sure, cheating to start with. But yes,
Charlie was saying that. Though.
Yeah,
I know. Charlie has...
We need to use our powers for good. So that's when they get the idea to go help. He has questionable
morals sometimes. And this is where they come up with the mission statement of the Minutemen.
To do good.
Not to be confused with the Proto-Watchmen in Watchmen. The first group of superheroes was called the Minutemen. No more jokes about Jacob Telejohn or anything. They are going to use their powers for good, or the time travel powers for good, to go back in time and...
try to fix stuff.
But this time, what's the Asian girl's name?
Jeanette
is on their, join their team pretty much.
So actually, I think that's what it is all their other times they have Jeanette there to maintain or open up the portal or something.
Correct.
Whereas the other time, maybe the portal was going to close on them and that's why they had to leave Robot Man behind. Yep. I don't know.
So, yeah, Jeanette's on their team now, and she's like, well, if your guys are going to be on the team, you have to have a cool uniform.
And this is where the snowsuit guys' outfits comes in, the one that we mentioned with the poster. That you see
definitely look up the poster for this movie.
The white.
It sold Dustin on
it. It did,
But they're very stylish. They look like
Because her father had just purchased a snow...
Yeah, apparently
skiing.
Jeanette's dad is super rich. We don't see a single parent in this entire movie.
No, just children.
The snowsuits are kind of something you could see like James Bond wearing, or I think even at the end of in Inception, the snowsuits that some of the people wear in that.
Looking pretty snazzy. And she's always in like good outfits, I guess you could say. And she knows fashion.
They roll up or roll through time.
They jump into time. They jump through time. Literally, they jump off a diving board into the portals.
And then how do they right this wrong, Dustin?
Well, the bullies have the Chester's clothes, so they're like, well, if you have their clothes...
They're like, don't go naked!
Yeah. They're like, hey, take these cool swaggy clothes, and you'll look like, I don't know, Jay-Z back in the day.
Biggie Smalls.
So he's like dressed up with all like full-on baggy jeans.
He's
and,
looking
like,
pretty
fly.
And the bullies are like, y'all, you're supposed to be naked. What are you doing?
What? But like everybody's like looking at him like he's cool now. He's the
because
shit.
that changes his like ego and everything.
Yeah, and he rolls with it, and then it's like, you punk ass bitch. No, he doesn't say that, but
like he's rude to the boys that helped him. Like later on.
Yeah, not quite yet. He's just. I thought, it could have just been like a one-off gag.
He's like, those old rags, you keep them. I was going to burn them anyway.
Oh, yeah. They also, on the way out that they're running out of the school.
We don't know if there's a negative yet.
As they're running out of the school, they wreck the vice principal's 20-year achievement award.
That is true,
which is a model of the school.
The butterfly effect begins.
So then, immediately, the vice principal is on the lookout for what people dub the snowsuit guys.
Yes.
Then we meet the other best character after Zeke and maybe Chester, who is Eugene von Hoserberg or Hosenberg. He works at this burger restaurant that I don't remember if they show the sign, but I'm pretty sure
Burger
it should
Time.
be called Burger Time. I don't know if it actually is.
There's like 1,000 clocks in this place.
It doesn't look like a burger restaurant. It looks like Central Perk or something from Friends. But it seems to be the cool hangout spot for all the teens.
Only kids here. The only kids work here. There's no adults.
It's like Culver's.
There's like 3. There's like 3 adults in the whole movie.
Jocelyn, I think, who is the girl that Derek is likely cheating on Stephanie with. Remember those characters?
Yes.
She goes up to Eugene and says, hey, bring us some food. And he's like, oh, she wants the
D.
Yeah, she wants the Eugene.
She wants the G.
Oh.
And then he goes, and somehow they purposely...
Spilled water.
Yeah, there's somebody who had just cleaned there, so there's a wet floor sign.
Yeah.
But then they removed the wet floor sign. It's like, did they plan that there was going to be a wet floor sign there? So they pull that away, and Eugene slips and dumps all the food on himself. So much condiments.
Yeah.
All of them.
He's a
very
messy
saucy
boy.
burgers and stuff. And they laugh at him.
Yeah.
And Zeke is there.
He sees
and he's
this,
like,
yes. Gotta change that. Gotta do it for good.
It's not right. It's not right.
No. So here, next scene, we see him running in, all suited up.
And they catch him, save him from spilling everything. It lands on the table, but then he hits like a mop somewhere. And
the mop is soaking wet. The one that just cleaned the floor.
They get all the mean girls wet, and they're like, yeah! And then some cool skater kid's like, Eugene, you know those guys? Yeah, cool, Eugene!
Eugene is the shit now, too. So Eugene's getting this high and mighty, kind of mindset along with Lester.
And then we get a fun montage set this time, I think, to a Corbin Blue song.
Oh. Because we just got the Allie and AJ one, too, right? Before
of them rescuing various people, like a girl with braces who drooled all over her desk.
And they, like, wipe it out. Oh, yeah.
They squeegee the drool off of her desk.
We do, like, some montages in our DCOMs, and there was another one where some guy, like, a toilet seat.
Oh, yeah, he had a toilet seat cover on his pants? When he's at school? What school got toilet seat covers?
Pretty fancy.
I think I probably only been in places with toilet seat covers, like, I don't know, like the airport. I don't feel like I see them very often. Yeah, I just mostly remember the girl with braces.
No.
We're seeing more, like, cutting between them rescuing people and then the researchers being like, shit getting crazy.
There always does seem to be, like, a negative effect, whatever they're doing.
Well, towards the end of the montage, we're seeing that all 3 of them, Zeke, Virgil, and Charlie, Tuttle, seem to be being tailed by some Men in Black G-men looking folks.
That's right.
And one of the times is Charlie just, what normal people do, walking down the street with his cat. Sorry, I should say he's holding his cat walking down the street.
First we see Zeke in his scrapyard working, and there's somebody up in a cherry picker fixing a power line, but they're binoculars, spying on him kind of thing.
He holds a camera to his side. And he tries to snap a photo.
Taking pictures.
Yep.
And then there's another one where
a convenience store.
Virgil's shopping. There's a guy following him, and he's hiding behind posts and stuff. And then then you see Charlie Tuttle,
a blacked out van roll up behind him,
and it's then stopping. So that kind of gave me Home Alone vibes when they're kind of trailing Kevin, and they stop in the van, Marv, and
I guess I don't remember that part of the movie.
And they kind of stop because he notices them following, and then he'll walk, and then they.
So the result of all this is that the snowsuit guys are the hottest thing at school.
Everybody
there are both wanted posters up for them from the vice principal.
And on shirts.
There's shirts and then also just posters that say snowsuit guys rule.
Yeah.
And Eugene is saying that he hangs out with the snowsuit guys all the time. And
but
Virgil's no, you don't. And they're called the Minutemen.
Yes, but Lester's being rude to him, and Eugene's being rude. Chester.
I'm
sorry.
Who the fuck is Lester?
Chester.
Uncle Fester.
Chester and Eugene are still being rude to the Minutemen, not in costume.
And I kind of thought this was going to be, and this sort of happens, but not really, that Virgil was going to be it's so cool, everybody loves us, so now I'm going to tell everybody that I'm one of the Minutemen. And I thought that's what he was going to go with, because he was mad about Eugene getting a popularity boost and stuff like that. But that's not really what happens. Charlie reveals then that he actually only figured out time travel by hacking into NASA.
Yeah, he's a hacker.
Because that makes sense. I don't know. They kind of hand wave it. NASA, we learned that they uncovered some research that helped with time travel, but then it was classified or something in the 60s. I don't know why they couldn't have just said the Department of Defense.
He's just he's like a modern day Matthew Broderick. Hackers.
No, in war games?
War games.
Yes, the movie everybody thinks of Matthew Broderick in, and especially when you say hackers to not mean the movie Hackers. Anyways, Stephanie gets injured, and she had just gotten a scholarship.
Or she was going to do a tryout.
Oh, okay, that's why I was confused.
And she got hurt during the tryout.
She already got the scholarship, right? So she should be fine, but yeah, she's doing some cheerleading tryout because she's a cheerleader.
Before this happens, she's very excited, and she's talking to Virgil because she still confides in Virgil. So they keep telling us, the movie's showing us that, she still kind of likes Virgil. Well, her boyfriend's, maybe cheating on her during this time.
Of course, Virgil wants to go back in time to rescue her, to not get injured. Charlie says, no, it's because of a stupid crush thing. And then Jeanette, the weird girl, is I love stupid crush things.
Yeah.
So they still end up going, and they're getting chased by, school security while they're doing it. They're taking a golf cart.
Zeke steals a golf cart, I think, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And they do catch her.
But the reason she was about to get injured is that she was in a human pyramid type thing.
Eugene kicks a hacky sack at her.
Yes. Eugene with the cool skater guy.
Yeah.
Hits her with a hacky sack.
And Virgil catches her. And then what does he say?
She says, "Oh, you're so hot." And he says, "Get out!"
Get out.
Which I guess is something Virgil has said a lot in the rest of the movie. I don't really remember it.
Yeah.
But she's tipped off that she thinks Steph knows who the snowsuit guys are.
Yeah.
We're seeing really set up now that the school status quo is completely out of whack. Chester is a huge bully now. He's bullying his former bullies.
The principal doesn't like that the hierarchy has changed.
No. Yes, the vice principal.
He's pissed.
He's making fun of kids' hats. Be hey, you dumb dope. It's very funny. It's a better version
such a good movie.
The only good part of Stepsister from Planet Weird was when the stepsister from Planet Weird has weird fashion, and then everybody in the school wants to be like her.
Yeah.
It's like that, except it's just Chester becoming this gangster. So Charlie has observed this, and he's hey, we're kind of fucking everything up. He doesn't say butterfly effect because I don't know. They didn't want to draw a comparison to the Ashton Kutcher movie.
But, there's so many, I would say homages to other movies, whether it be Back to the Future.
Oh, I'll let you really call out those ones later on. Stephanie then goes to Virgil's house as he's sweeping his patio or something. Still no parents around. And she's saying, hey, you helped me, right? You saved me. You're one of the snowsuit guys. You, and I bet it's Zeke and Charlie. You're always hanging out together.
Like, no.
You guys were able to do this because you're psychic. And then
he says time travelers.
I was hoping one of you guys would say
yeah. So at the same time, she says, like I said, psychic, time traveler. And she's like, what did you just say? What? And he's like, no. What you said, psychic. Yeah, we're psychic. She's like, no, you said time travelers. What about time travelers? What is this time traveler thing?
I don't know what happened because I went and got in an Excedrin. But then there's a big football game happening, and Derek it's like the final play of the game. He's got to sink this pass to work stuff out, but as the play starts, Chester is not quite streaking because he's still wearing boxers.
Streaker, though. They do call him Streaker.
Virgil makes a funny point that says, oh, well, this all started from him being naked, but now he's all cool with getting naked.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
But yeah, Chester, fair distraction, and then Derek blows the play.
He gets fumbles the ball. The other team recovers the ball because there's only like 4 seconds left or something, and the game is over. They lose. He's humiliated now as the quarterback.
And then Derek and Stephanie.
But we don't. They don't make us feel like he deserves to get shit on.
Sure. Derek and Stephanie. Derek has learned from Stephanie that they're time travelers, so then he comes and pleads his case to Virgil.
And I feel like once he would have known, the cat would have been out of the bag. Like I could see like...
You're saying Derek got loose lips?
Yes. Exactly.
He also apologizes to Virgil about the first day of freshman year.
But
he's like, hey, man.
Because he's a prick.
Stuff got out of hand. And Virgil's like, okay, Derek. I love you.
Derek's bad.
But you know who doesn't love Derek? Dirk? Charlie. Because he's like, no, we fucked up too much stuff. We shouldn't time travel anymore. But Charlie gets convinced because Virgil's like, well, we're doing this to right the wrong because Chester screwed up the play because Chester's a cool guy now. So they do a stylish thing here where they don't show them saving the day. They just show Jeanette staying behind while they time travel, and she has a newspaper, and the headlines change.
And this is a direct homage to Back to the Future, if I've ever seen one before.
Where that... they win the game, and then it says the snowsuit guys tackle the streaker.
Yeah, and like in Back to the Future, when Marty was gonna like die or not die, or maybe never be born. There was like a picture of like him and his family at like Walt Disney World, and like he's in the picture and like his siblings aren't or something like that, and like it's fading in and out kind of thing.
Yep. So
it's cool. Like it's definitely a reference. Like there's a couple other things too.
And while this is happening, Virgil takes a tape that somebody had filmed of the original football game, and while this newspaper changes immediately, I guess they justify that since the tape is displaced in time, the tape doesn't disappear even though the event didn't happen.
So then
I say, okay, Disney Channel.
That's pretty smart. There's not a hole there.
Disney Channel does an okay job of handling a time travel movie when these movies can always be riddled with plot holes. They've done a better job than Return to Halloween Town with that little bit of... Dustin picks all the time travel movies.
Yeah, that's right.
So. But he shows the old tape to Derek and Stephanie so that he can still be like, I'm a cool time traveler.
Yeah.
They're like, oh... Yeah, I think Derek was kind of like, oh, so I'm not totally awesome, but I mean, he still made the plays, so.
But them going back in time too also meant that he didn't know they were time travelers yet. So this was them proving to him that they were time travelers.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yes.
Thanks.
Correct.
And then Virgil's cool. He gets invited to parties. He's hanging out with Stephanie.
Yeah,
Stephanie's
but no Charlie
saying,
Tuttle.
I'm jealous of you, that you look like you have so much fun. And then he's like, I'm jealous of you. You look like you have so much fun. And then, Charlie from across the street.
He's like just watching all the press.
Did this happen already where she got the call from Derek?
No, that hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
Not quite.
But it's very convenient and maybe inconvenient that Charlie lives right across the street from the party house and is looking through the window right while Virgil is dancing in front of the window.
Mashing the taters.
And his dance moves are incredible.
Yeah, but he's cool, even though he does not look cool at all here.
Potatoes.
Charlie, I think, calls him up and he's like, I hate you. You're popular now.
Zeke's like...
And then he's like, can you hold up? I got another call. And this is where...
Okay.
Yeah.
Take it away, Dustin.
Yeah. What's her name? Stephanie?
Yeah.
She, like, interrupts the call and she's like, hey, Derek kind of just broke up with me, I think.
Well, no, I think it was that she learned that he was cheating with Jocelyn.
Yeah, she, like...
Who Jocelyn,
Derek
not
kissed.
as cute as Stephanie.
Yeah.
Or Jeanette, for that matter.
So then Big Verge is like, oh, okay, I'll be right over.
Big Verge.
He'll be right over. And this is like...
And then he, like, climbs up the... She has, like, some, like...
Yeah, I didn't love that. She's got a terrace.
Some, like, Romeo and Juliet thing.
Yeah,
he climbs up and hears, like, another Foley stage sound. We haven't been mentioning all, like, the hundreds of Foley stage noises you hear throughout this movie.
You can just call him Foley. I don't know what this Foley... Where's the stage come in?
That is a Foley stage.
Huh? Maybe I'm an idiot.
So, but yes, you hear
maybe
like all
David
these,
Spade didn't voice
all the clatter.
You hear all these, you hear just all these, like, throughout the whole movie, there's, like, stuff crashing and, like, just throughout the whole movie, then you hear, like, like a big smash.
I mean, to be fair, they are also crashing into a lot of stuff.
Yes, and, like, that's obviously a directorial...
Whenever they come out of the time portal, they usually get thrown
stylistic
into something.
choice. Like, he's choosing to have all these crashes sounds. He thinks it's funny. Maybe it is. Maybe
it's not really, but... He talks to Stephanie, and he plays it well. Or there's one funny bit where he says, "Oh, I know you love pistachios. I brought some over, but I got pasta shells accidentally."
And she's like, "Did you bring sauce or something?"
Yeah, marinara sauce. And he's like, and she says, "I'm kidding."
I'm kidding.
It was a cute
Big
moment.
Verge.
But then I don't know why does Virgil bring up? He's like, "Hey, no, it's probably a misunderstanding. You gotta like sort it out."
Yeah, why is he defending this dude?
And then she's like, "You're such a good friend," and I'm like, "Immediate cuck."
Yeah, I don't know why he's defending Derek.
Yeah,
it's very strange. I never understood that. My whole read the whole time was just Derek's just like a prick. I don't know why they're trying to make him sound like...
Yeah, and maybe I'm misreading some of that situation, but I think that's how it played out. The researchers have finally run their concerns up the reporting chain, and they are talking to like the members of the FBI, I think.
CIA, some other... There's another guy that shows up later on.
And this is where we see that there's ripples happening underneath the football field.
As students are walking up, right? And they're...
Not quite.
Okay.
Derek and Virgil talk, and my... notes here say Derek probable sociopath. Where he's just like, "Nah, man, I'm so sorry about freshman year. Let's just be best friends." And I think Virgil is setting up that they're going to go travel back in time to make it so Stephanie doesn't learn that he cheated. But before that can happen, he's walking home and gets scooped up by the FBI.
Yes.
And Virgil's actually about to sell Zeke and Charlie out. But then he sees that Zeke and Charlie are already there, and they're like, "Man,
sold him
fuck
out.
you, Virgil."
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, I would have never sold you two guys out." And he's like, "Yeah, right."
And I don't know if it's like just a field operation for them, or if it's like an actual FBI office within obviously the context of this
and
movie.
They've got their big van.
There's just an SUV inside of the building. There's just like, it just looks like a warehouse.
But like when they leave, it's like a...
It doesn't say FBI anywhere.
No, it looks like a school building. I don't know. A church? Grand. Yeah, it does say grand on the building. Very strange.
Some like big hall of nothing.
The Grand Hall.
But Virgil flexes his 1 semester of government that he says, "Hey, if you aren't charging us with anything, you can't hold us here."
Yeah.
So they're like, "Well, shit."
He's right, kid's right.
The government, we're always known for following the rules, especially the FBI.
And they let him go.
So yeah, they let them go, and
2 of the FBI agents say something like, "Oh, we'll be watching them," or something, I think. Along those lines or whatever.
But Zeke and Charlie go off on Virgil and saying, "Yeah, you're all fucking popular now and not hanging out with us. Fuck you. Go to your parties." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm into this. Stick it to the popular kids."
And they call
my
them the
angsty
populars.
teen self.
They refer to them as the populars a lot.
And Zeke's like, "I was better off on my own. Fuck you guys. I'm solo."
Even if he was alone, though, he's still getting those girls.
Yeah, there's 2 girls at different points that are just totally into Zeke.
They love him at any point throughout the movie.
But as Jacob says, totally socially awkward, loose.
He is. He's very awkward boy.
But Virgil's also kind of being a big dick to them here, just being like, "Hey, fuck you guys, whatever, man. I'm just tired of being a loser," or whatever. So then Virgil's teaming up with Derek, and then Charlie learns that they have created a black hole by doing too much time travel. So then he runs and tells the FBI with Jeanette, and he tells them, hey, we got 4 hours left, and Fat Researcher's like, I didn't know there was a black hole, and I'm like, just let him be. Let him, you've done enough to Fat Researcher, man. We haven't established that there's going to be a dance, but there's a dance happening.
There's a dance. The big
My
dance.
notes here say the dance occurs, Jacob comes. So explain why you're so excited about this dance, Jacob.
So, like, we've had references, like I said before, with, like, the newspaper changing. You know, that was, like, a Back to the Future reference. You know, some homage there. But, like, this was a big one. And Back to the Future, there's, like, a under the sea kind of ball thing. And it's, like, almost laid out exactly like it. But, like, this one's called, like, a something in
Rock
time.
Around the Clock.
Rock Around the Clock. So it's, like, you know, time references.
Time!
But
They're traveling through time!
But, like, also, like, just like the outfits and stuff. It's, like, set in, like, the same...
60s and
yeah, like,
or the
Elvis.
50s, which
it's the
is
same kind of,
the
like,
era
outfits.
he goes back to in Back to the Future.
Yeah, so it's just really cool. Like, I mean, that's, to me, that's obviously
Jacob is saying this
intentional.
movie's better than Back to the Future.
I might have said that. I really like this film.
We get a nice moment where, well, first Virgil and Derek are like, yeah, we're going to go back in time, but let's just see who's king and queen first. And it's like, they just say, who's going to be king and queen of the dance? Because this isn't prom. This isn't homecoming. This is a school spirit thing.
Yes.
So it's so, like, nonchalant being like, we don't see anybody voting.
No.
We hadn't even know this dance was going to happen until the scene started.
And that's kind of the strange thing about it. Because, like normally, like it ends up being kind of the big game, you know? Or
No, there's no big game.
The black hole, I guess, would be the big game.
There doesn't always need to be a big
I think
Well,
the black
wasn't the
hole
football
is...
game? Wasn't the dance after the football game?
Oh.
Like that day?
We have to assume, because
Sometimes
otherwise
it gets confusing when they go back and forth, too.
Yeah.
a lot of
It
stuff
does-
at least has to happen within 24 hours of each
Yeah.
other because of the time travel mechanic where they can only go a day back in time.
Because you had pointed out, like, why are they playing football in the day?
Yeah, it was, like, really early. Like I mean, at least for us in high school, like, you'd always
You
have...
know, it was a nice summer football game.
Yeah, kind of strange some of the time.
So Derek thinks him and, I don't know, Jocelyn or Stephanie's going to get crowned, but it's actually Virgil and Stephanie. But then Virgil says that he cheated.
He stuffed the ballot box, even though.
But it's a little like, maybe he did, but I'm pretty sure he did. Because he's like, no, I actually did, but maybe he's still lying, but like, it's kind of fucked up. And Stephanie is kind of taken aback too.
Yeah, she
Well,
is
he
kind
was
of
like,
upset
I
about
only
it.
stuffed the box for you. And then he was like, nobody would vote for me, would they?
He's like,
And she was
shit, I guess I gotta go back in time and not tell you about this.
Then she
Yeah.
was like, I'd vote for you.
I vote for you. So this is, again, they're establishing these two should be lovers. They should be making sweet love.
And then there's a funny bit where Virgil and Derek leave to go time travel, but everybody thinks they're gonna go fight. So there's this big crowd following them, being like, fight! That doesn't really pay off
Good. No,
beyond
it doesn't.
that, but it
like,
was-
I don't even know where those people end up.
It was a funny premise.
Yeah, that was good.
But then Charlie shows up. He tells Virgil about the black hole.
Charlie
Tuttle.
Thank you.
Charlie Day, the voice of
Oh.
Luigi.
Whoa, wow.
And then this is where the football field, like in Dark Knight Rises, just starts to be sucked down. And everybody's just standing around being like, oh shit, check this out. This is crazy.
Like slowly backing up as the
Yeah, it's
bigger.
like they're literally standing like inches away from this fucking black hole. Like they could fall in any minute.
So
but they're
then
like,
the FBI's there with Charlie.
back.
They're doing all sorts of computer stuff. And
There's like 50 of them though down in the like little basement thing.
yeah. And then for reasons,
Set up shop.
the Minutemen...
They start doing a flash mob dance.
No, not yet. But the Minutemen, they have to go within the black hole.
Yes, and
To
but
do
they have
something.
to jump down from the top
Mhm.
into it.
Yeah, they can't. They're already by the time travel machine. But no, we can't have them going right now because we have to have them walk through the hall while everybody loses their
Yeah,
mind.
it's like an
Cool.
epic send off.
Yeah.
They're all chanting Minutemen. There's
They all get
girls
their kisses.
swooning.
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
get kisses. Couple.
Yeah,
of them.
there's all the love
Charlie
interests
Tuttle
come
gets
up.
a little smooch.
Charlie kisses Jeanette.
And the two girls, Mac
They
on
come up
Zeke.
to Zeke, and then Virgil talks to his sister.
Well, yeah, well, but then Virgil also talks to
Stephanie, but then he doesn't say anything or kiss her because he's a total cuck boy.
Well, we think there's going to be a kiss. It's definitely setting up that there's going to be a kiss, but then Derek comes up and kind of ruins the moment. Because he's still like, no,
I'm going to fix this for my dog.
Derek ruins the moment. Otherwise, there would have been a kiss.
He calls Derek like D-Rock or D-Dog or something at some point. And I'm like, no, please, never again. That. They jump through the hole and they show up in a park. And for a second, Jacob, what did you think was happening?
So I thought they went so far back in time that they were like little kids. Because like that's what we saw. Like it was like...
The kid kind of looked like little Charlie.
It 100%. Like the same hair and everything. It looked like him. And so they're on like this playground with all these little kids. And like they didn't really understand, I don't think, where they were until he looked at...
a newspaper from the on the bench.
He's like, this is the first day of freshman year.
Yeah.
It's the pivotal day of this movie. Why did the black hole send them back to this perfect point when it's only done a day each other time? Who knows?
Because that's when he started.
Yes, they actually do set that up. That whatever his superpowered golf cart Charlie had at that point somehow tied it to this point.
Correct.
It's tenuous.
But I love it.
But Charlie's got some kind of computer thing. He taps around on it. He's like, okay, it's done. The black hole will be fixed. But Virgil wants to go to the high school to fix things. So there's this whole mad chase there. And then Charlie gives a very impassioned speech to Virgil because if Virgil writes what happened, then him and Charlie wouldn't be hanging on the statue, which means they probably wouldn't be friends at this point. So that there was some good that came out of that bad. But Virgil's like, I'm so horny though.
It's true. Like that's
but even then, it's like I don't know. Like I don't even know what would have happened then. But basically, he can't fix it because we see Virgil and Charlie getting dragged off, and then Derek pops up, saying like, "Hey guys, stop doing that and start doing this by putting lipstick on them." And Virgil's like, "Oh man, he was a dick the whole time.
He was. That's what I was saying. I knew he was always bad. He was always evil."
He's the villain of this movie.
That's true.
He's the real black hole.
Oh my.
So it's a nice moment, but even then Charlie and Zeke kind of leave Virgil behind. And we're supposed to be like, oh, maybe he won't make the right choice. But again, I don't know what he can really fix at that point because everything's already happened.
That's true.
There's something where Charlie and Zeke are like, oh no, the black hole's gone into overdrive.
Oh man.
It's going to close in 1 minute.
Yeah, so they're rushing there. Oh, we're not going to make it.
We got a mile to go to get to it.
Virgil pops up with the superpowered golf cart, which they take. Does not actually seem to go very fast.
No, but Zeke does have his grappling hook.
Which we haven't brought up, but he brought a grappling hook once, and then they were like, "Oh, that's stupid." And then he always brought it. I think it would have been funnier if they really hit home more how much he wanted to use the grappling hook, so it felt more like a satisfying payoff.
Finally,
but also the way they use it is he throws it onto a telephone pole or something
in the middle of a roundabout.
That just helps them turn around because they were going the wrong way.
Yes,
which I thought he was going to use it to like get into the black hole. But so wasn't the most satisfying payoff.
Could have been better.
And the rest of the time, it's they're running around cars, they're crashing through a farmer's market, so a lot of chaotic shit.
Same crash scene kind of callback from when he was riding through the football field, I guess, or the first scene in the movie. But
yeah, they get there, they drive the cart through the hole, and
the movie's over.
They make it through the other side.
Yeah,
and it's like, what day is it now? He says, boy, you there. What day is it? Why, sir, it's Christmas Day. Actually, no, it's gym class day.
Yes. So what day was it? Was that the first day?
It was the first day they traveled back in time.
Okay.
They learned that.
Before everything happened. But they're in their suits now. And like the vice principal sees them and so this is like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
That's when the principal's like, weird fashion choice.
Yeah. So this is when we realize, okay, this is... before everything, because otherwise the principal would have reacted because he was trying to get them at one point. So like here we know it's before all the time travel stuff ever happened.
Yep. And then we get some really satisfying payoff. They go into the library. Virgil says, "Hey, Derek, have fun."
Jocelyn
having sex. Jocelyn.
Yeah.
He's like, what's that supposed to mean?
Those loose lips.
He says, you guys both like lipstick, I
bet.
So he knows, and Derek knows he knows.
Yeah.
Then he's able to go and say, like, hey, Stephanie, how's it going? But first, Charlie meets up with Jeanette, who is like, hey, Kookaburra or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Charlie
starts kissing her.
Kisses her without permission.
Sexual assault.
And they had kissed at one point, but that hadn't happened in this timeline now.
She did the kissing.
So now Charlie is like very forward, and he's like, "Oh no!" And Zeke's like, "That's harassment. You're gonna be canceled."
She seems kind of like taken aback by it. Like when it happens, she seems taken aback. Yep. But then, like, she starts walking away, and we see her little spurt, her little
they all want it. Am I right, Jake?
Oh,
that's a joke.
Oh no, me too.
Jacob is saying he likes that. He's not. Anyway, moving on. It ends with Stephanie and Virgil. She's like, hey, why are you wearing that thing? And he's like, I love you. I don't know. Something happens.
The end.
But as they're walking off, Charlie is being held back by Zeke, being like, no, I got the greatest idea. What's better than time travel? Teleportation. Jacob Telejohn, tell you all about it.
Teleportation.
He's done it before.
I have done
I think we've talked about Jacob's... Does teleportation, can that be viewed anywhere?
Probably.
I'll find it and Dustin can tweet it out then.
There we go.
Sure, yeah.
But we can't leave Zeke hanging because Zeke still gets the girls.
Yeah, Zeke's girls. I don't know what the timeline was for when they started liking him, but I think it was maybe at the burger restaurant or I don't know, but they like him. So everybody gets a girl.
Everybody gets
the timeline is perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, even Derek kind of gets the girls.
He does.
We didn't get into Twitches too, but they're not quite bloops, but then we get like a flash mob thing.
That was fun.
Super staged, but it's a fun little segment at the end.
All the FBI people and that.
Dustin had already gone to the bathroom. We're like, no, Dustin, come back.
You gotta see this.
No, you're missing it. You're missing everything.
I was holding it for so long, I had to.
Hey, man, you shouldn't feel any pressure about not going to the bathroom during movies. I do it all the time.
I don't want to miss anything.
I don't want to miss a thing.
Oh my.
Well, I didn't feel like I wanted to miss much of this movie because I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. I like that movie a lot.
I like the premise. I like them rescuing the people from very silly high school stuff.
So you got your high school thing, and I kind of got my magical kind of thing with it. Time travel's kind of a magical
Nicholas Braun thing. The thing I didn't like about this movie, but I knew what they were going for at least, is there's lots of banter between the three guys and lots of like jokey stuff.
There are most of the time it sucks. There are like a lot of throwaway lines, but some of them are good.
Lots of it maybe could have been better if like the performances were better, mostly from Charlie Tuttle. But I still knew what they were going for, and in my mind I can envision like a better executed version of that I would like a lot. So I don't got too many complaints about this movie. Dustin, what do you feel?
It was very entertaining. I held my bladder through the whole movie. Yeah. So I wouldn't pee my pants.
And it paid off. You
got 90 minutes. Dustin's bladder is huge.
Yeah. No, but from the ones that I've watched so far, it was probably the best one.
Yeah. I'd say probably
there aren't really many holes
between this and like Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off for you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off is pretty highly rated overall for me, so this might get it in. This might be like top 5 caliber or something.
Jeez. Real question is though, would Zeke, Charlie Tuttle, and could they stop 9/11? Virgil. 9/11?
That was actually, I had already come in prepared to be like, shit, time travel movie, why didn't they stop 9/11?
Exactly.
But, obviously they could only go back a day, except for when it allows them to go back 3 years.
The black hole, yes.
But yeah, they could at least killed Hitler, but do something
but only
of worthwhile.
One day. So
basically created the new Hitler in Chester, the gangster.
Right. So each of them stops one of the planes, right?
Well, that's if you think there was 3 planes.
Oh.
True. But yeah, clearly the Minutemen, their morals are in the right place.
They
with the tools of a more calibrated machine, which, hey, sequel. Minutemen stop 9/11.
You know the one hole that kind of upsets me? We never got to see
the black hole?
Chester again.
We never saw Lester at all. He wasn't in the movie.
we never got to see what happened to Chester in this new
I think he probably walked by or something
maybe
in that segment and was still a nerd at the end.
And that's good. That's what we...
Status quo, like the vice principal wants. Everything is...
Stick to the status quo.
For all the people who are really getting it stuck to them, they're still getting stuck to them. But all our main characters, they got girls now. So it's good for them.
Everything is good.
But yes, of course, that was our segment. Never remember. Minutemen, they have to. They need to stop 9/11.
Good things. But then what would have been the negative, what would have happened negatively because of it? We'll never know.
I don't know. John Kerry becomes president or something.
Unanswerable question.
I don't know if that'd be negative. But yes, write us in at awholenewpod@gmail.com. What else could the Minutemen have solved? Kanye, don't go out there and interrupt Taylor Swift right now.
Do you have a personal story you'd like to share that the Minutemen could have
saved for you? Yeah. How could they have helped you?
Oh, I thought you were. I thought you were speaking very pointedly. Like, isn't there something you want to talk about, Lucas? Are you the Jewish the Minutemen? That's actually good because I'm sure. I can't think of anything specifically in this moment, but I'm sure everybody, when you're in the shower or late at night, you have those moments of just some flash of something in your past, of something really stupid you did, and you're like, oh, that's still sticking with me 15 years later or whatever.
That sounds like a lot
and you want the Minutemen to just have shown up to shove you out of the way or something.
Yeah. Good question.
No, my life's perfect. No regrets at all.
Wow. No
I make a podcast with Jacob Television.
Hell yeah. Best decision of your life.
But that email, again, is awholenewpod@gmail.com.
Check out that Twitter.
Check out the Twitter, Dustin.
Check out the Twitter, AWN Pod.
At Twitter.
At Twitter.
Twitter.com.
And youtube.com/awholenewpod, where we've actually gotten a couple of comments. We got one from Adele, who we haven't heard from recently, for the High School Musical 2 episode, which I think I must have. Well, I'll just read the comment. Yo quiero mirar toda la película, which I assume is some kind of form of Spanish of, why didn't you upload the whole movie? Because I made a joke about us only getting comments of not English speakers being like, this is a jumping ship, which brings me to the second comment, where I got a comment from Music Lover KB for our jumping ship video. I'm not far into this review, but I disagree that Michael's character development is completely gone. He may still be lazy and unambitious, but this time around, he is a lot more caring and attentive towards Tommy. He really did go out of his way to make sure he and Tommy had a good time. He just made the wrong reservation. Well, Music Lover KB, that video came out, when was that uploaded? May 11th, 2020, so almost 2 years ago. I don't remember shit about Championship. I kind of scrubbed through it. I think you're wrong, though. I do think, if you're listening to this, he went back to being a rich snobby kid again. But then he also says, I also disagree with you. All three Lawrence brothers are really good actors.
Oh, man. That's a hot take.
If you do believe that, I would say check out the movie Money Plane. Starring...
all three?
No, just two of them, I think. And directed by Andrew?
Okay.
So, Lawrence Brother Mania. Still running strong in 2022.
That's right.
And... also, I don't know if I ran off the others, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify.
If you check out the Twitter, I have the links to all of them pinned to the top of the profile.
You just all bring them up, hit place simultaneously on all of them.
Follow, subscribe,
perfect
leave
double
the reviews.
Get a harmony going of like 6 things playing at once.
6 Lucases all at once.
Yeah, it's almost like some of the episodes where there's just a random echo that pops up all the time, but this time you're the one causing the echo. And with that, I don't know. You got anything to go out on?
I don't know, the usual. Fuck Sam Blazing.
Well, jeez, I didn't want to go there. Oh, what? Time portal! Oh no, Sam, dude! Ah!
Mom, sorry, but I sort of screwed up.
Well, like, not me, actually, but this kid.
Greg.
This kid smoked a joint in my car.
A kid?
Like this hitchhiker kid that I picked
Up this morning, like earlier this morning, because it was raining and I didn't want him to get sexually assaulted.
Greg.
Before I can even say anything.
What the fuck?
Aggressively.
Takes out have you ever seen a doobie?
And the car smelled like skunk weed, and then I guess I smelled like it, and then
they were just like, get all your stuff and go.